Hello and welcome to this mini flow. We'll do a little bit of everything, including a warm up as well as some vinyasas and standing balancing poses and a cool down. So let's get started. Go ahead and begin in a seated position, sitting up nice and tall, either cross-legged. You can also sit on your heels and feel free to bring a blanket underneath the hips if you have one handy. We just want to sit up nice and tall, comfortably, relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze towards the tip of the nose. And we'll just take a few slow, deep breaths together. So exhale completely in through the nose and out through the nose. Softening as you inhale and relaxing as you exhale. Take one more breath just like that. Beautiful. And if the eyes are closed, you can go ahead and flutter them open. So I do want to walk you through something called an emotional freedom technique. It's or EFT for short, and it's just another way, in addition to breathing, to kind of ground yourself and refocus if you ever need to reset. So we'll start by tapping what I like to call the karate chop edge of the hand. There's 9 points, and inevitably I always skip one or forget one, so I have my notes here in front of me. And then next you gently tap the top of the head. Keep breathing as you do so. Then we tap the eyebrows, just very lightly moving to now the temples or side of the eyes. Then below the eyes are the cheekbones. Then next is the upper lip. The chin and jaw, where we sometimes hold a lot of tension. The collarbone. And then below the armpits, kind of like you're giving yourself a hug. So we'll go through that one more time. You can close your eyes if you'd like. I'll walk you through the karate chop edges of the hand. Top of the head. The eyebrows. Gently tapping and breathing. Temples. Cheekbones below the eyes. Upper lip. Chin and jaw. Collarbone. And then under the armpits. And then take a moment, and whichever one kind of settled you the most, go ahead and come back to it. For me, it's the cheekbones here. Gently tapping, breathing. And then releasing the hands. Again, sitting up nice and tall, taking a breath and just noticing how you feel after that. And then letting that go. We'll warm up into the neck next by bringing the chin towards the chest, lengthening the back side of the neck. And then gently bringing the chin along the right side collarbone until the chin reaches for the right shoulder. Relax both shoulders down. Now we'll gently rotate the head. Imagine dumping water out the right ear. Lengthening now the left side of the neck, trying to keep left shoulder down. And then very gently with control, rocking the head back nice and slow until you now dump water out the left ear, lengthening right side of the neck, keeping right shoulder down. Slowly rotating chin towards left shoulder. And then gently walking the chin along the left collarbone until you come back to center and then lift the chin. We'll go now in the opposite direction. So close the eyes if you would like, or you can look if you need cues, chin to chest, chin along the left side collarbone, chin towards left shoulder. Dumping water out the left ear, keeping both shoulders down and relaxed, especially that right shoulder if it starts to creep up. Rocking the head back with control and mindfulness. Water dumps out now the right ear. Chin towards the right shoulder. And then slowly chin along right side collarbone, back to center, and then gently lifting the head. Now we'll warm into the shoulders with some gentle shoulder rolls. And then switch directions of your rolls. And then we'll now work into the spine. So let the shoulders rest down and back. As you inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest towards the sky. Seated cow, and then exhale, round your spine like a scared cat. Bring gaze towards belly button. Inhale, lift chest, lift gaze. Exhale, round. So continue with your own breath cycle, closing the eyes if you'd like, or keeping a soft gaze towards the tip of your nose. Last one. And then come back to a neutral spine. Next, bring left hand outside left hip, right arm reaches up, and then reaches over towards the right. Try to keep that right hip down so you feel a nice stretch into that right side body between the ribs, right shoulder, right armpit. Reach, reach, reach. And then switching sides, planting right hand, lifting the left arm up, maybe reaching over towards the left. Staying with that slow, deep breathing in and out through the nose. And then gently coming back to center. From here, we'll start to walk the right hand behind, bring left hand to right outer knee. Nice gentle twist. So this is our warm up. We're not really trying to see how far we can twist. We're just warming up into the spine, gently bringing the gaze over the right shoulder. And then releasing through center and then switching sides. So left hand plants behind, right hand to left knee, and gently twist towards the left. And release, coming back to a neutral spine. From here, we'll roll over the knees and find a tabletop position. So spread through the fingertips, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Toes can be tucked or untucked. I like untucked just to stretch the bottoms of my feet, and we'll cat-cow the spine. So inhale, belly dips, gaze lifts. And then exhale, round and press, gazing towards belly button. Again, inhale, deep breath. Gaze lifts, belly dips. And then exhale, round. A couple more on your own. Notice what feels good. Maybe shifting forward and back as you move. Maybe wagging tail side to side. Last one. And then come back to that nice stable tabletop position. From here, we'll extend the right leg out. Notice if you open up the hip, bring the hip facing down towards the floor. And I like to flex the foot so that I ensure the toes and the hips point down. You can stay here if you'd like. You can add the left arm reaching forward for bird dog pose. We'll hold for a few breaths, allowing yourself to weeble and wobble a little bit, building strength in all those stabilizing muscles. And now we'll add a little bit of movement. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, elbow to knee, rounding like a cat pose. Again, inhale, take up space. Exhale, bring it in. 3 more. Moving with your breath. Last one. Reach one more time. Take up space. And then release back to tabletop position. Maybe shift forward and back a little bit. Before now we move on to the other side. So finding that stable tabletop, left leg extends. Again, notice, bring those left toes pointing down. Inhale, reach the right arm forward. Balance and breathe. Keep the gaze down to lengthen the back of the neck. And now we'll add that breath with movement. Inhale, lengthen, take up space. Exhale, round and bring it in. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, round. 3 more. Last one. Take up space one more time. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale. And then exhale, release. Now we'll move into a little bit of core work, and I will set my timer here. We'll find a forearm plank, and for 1 minute, we'll do what's called a hip drop knee drive. So bring the right hip down. Oh, notice the twist. Come to center. Right knee comes in. Left hip down. Left knee in. So go ahead and do your best here, taking breaks as you need to. You can always lower the knees. And really try to rotate rather than just bring the hip down. Turn and bring the outer left hip and the outer right hip. Notice if your elbows start to come up, try to keep both of them grounded and really accentuate that twist. I like to exhale as I bring the knee in. Got about 20 more seconds. Notice building heat in the body, in the core. Try to keep shoulders away from the ears. Relax your jaw. Last one, each side. And then lower the knees, and we'll find a child's pose. So you can open your knees if you'd like. Sink the hips back, reach the arms forward. Maybe come onto the tippy tops of the fingers, or roll the wrists a little bit. You can also bring hands underneath the forehead like a little pillow, shift side to side. And just let that go. The hands are underneath the forehead. Reach them in front of you, and we'll come back to a tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. So maybe first downward facing dog. Might feel nice to pedal the heels. Remember to push through the finger pads to protect your wrists. Now, if hamstrings are tight and heels don't quite touch, mine do not touch, you can keep a gentle bend into the knees. And the backside of the body will warm up as we move and create heat. Now the focus is lengthening the spine. So rather than having the legs straight and rounding, bend the knees and try to bring chest towards the thighs. We'll take a few breaths here in stillness. And then we'll start to slowly walk the feet forward to meet the hands, meeting in a forward fold. Again, keeping a bend in the knees if you need to. And then grabbing opposite elbows and swinging a little bit side to side. Letting the head go. And then slowly releasing the hands, bend through the knees, and then slowly rise, coming to our mountain pose Tadasana. So feet are hip width apart. Press through the triad of the feet, big toe, pinky toe, center heel. Strengthen through the legs. Engage your core, maybe tucking the tailbone slightly. Relax the shoulders down and back, palms face forward. And take a breath here in mountain pose Tadasana. Surya Namaskara B. Bring the feet together, toes and heels touch. Inhale, hands to sky, maybe reach up. And then exhale, chair pose. So press the knees against each other. Bring the weight towards the heels so the toes lift and spread. You might tuck your tailbone slightly to engage your core, and then arms can either reach up, they can reach forward, or they can come to heart center. Stay here for a few breaths. This is also known as lightning pose, I've heard it called. So imagine strength, heat, and breath. On your next inhale, straighten through the legs, lift the gaze, and exhale, forward fold. If you'd like, you can bring the feet back hip width apart. Inhale, lift and lengthen, maybe hands come to shins. Imagine making a 90-degree angle, gaze is down, exhale, fold. We'll step back to plank pose. Press through the finger pads, take an inhale, and then exhale, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, lift the chest for cobra pose, and exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. We meet in downward facing dog. So you can always transition through a child's pose there if you would like, come through tabletop, whatever works for you and your body. A few breaths here in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right leg reaches to sky. Exhale, knee to nose, and then bring the right foot forward. Now for balance here, if you'd like, you can always step the right foot out to the right. So imagine you're on train tracks instead of a tightrope. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze for high crescent pose. So that left leg is really strong and active. We bend into the right knee above the right ankle. Arms can reach up, maybe hands come to heart center. If you need to focus on balance, strength through the legs, eventually gaze lifts, stretching into the left psoas, right here. And then exhale, plant the hands, right foot steps back, plank pose, and then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe press into the hands this time. Keep shoulders down. Exhale, lower. Push up through plank or modified tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. So traditionally, we take 5 breaths in downward dog. I like to look at my toes. Pinky toe, inhale. 4th toe, exhale. Inhale, next toe, and so on. If you need something to focus on. Of course, this is kind of a modified class, so we're trying to get through a lot in a short amount of time. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the left foot up. Help it if you need to. Again, take up space on your mat. Maybe walk the left toes out a smidge. Inhale, rise. Sinking into that left knee. Keeping left knee above that left ankle. Both toes point forward. Strengthen to that right leg. Again, arms can reach up. Hands to heart center if you need to. Focus on something that's not moving in front of you for balance. Now stretching into that right psoas, front of the right leg, right hip. Keeping core engaged to protect the low back. Last breath. And then exhale, frame the foot. Left foot steps back. Plank pose. Chaturanga, whichever flow you would like. Maybe up dog, meeting in downward facing dog. And then again, taking a few deep breaths here. This is a resting pose. If it does not feel restful enough, you're always welcome to lower the knees and find a child's pose for a few breaths. From here, start to walk the hands forward, or walk the hands back, walk the feet forward, meeting in the middle of the mat. In a forward fold, shake out a little bit. And then gently bend the knees, slowly roll on up, moving now into our balancing portion. So bring strength into that left leg, spread through the triad of the feet, hands to hips just to keep them even and square, and we'll bring that right leg up. So we're trying to create 90-degree angles here. You can flex that right foot. From here, if you'd like to add on, left hand comes to right outer knee. And then you can start to twist the chest over towards the right. Try to find something that is not moving that you can focus on. Eventually, right arm might extend behind you. Push through the left big toe mound. Weeble and wobble on that left foot, left leg, using all those stabilizing muscles. Eventually, the right leg might straighten and you might grab the right toes. For some of us, not in this lifetime, that is okay. Do not lose the integrity of the pose just to get a little bit further. And then slowly release and come back to tabletop other side, hands to hips. This time left knee up, relax shoulders, stand tall, belly in, right hand, left outer thigh. Start to twist the chest open towards the left, and eventually left arm might reach behind you. So we did a little bit of twisting. No need to go all the way. Just find a place where you can balance and breathe. Focus. And then slowly release. Left hand meets the right and shake that out a little bit if you need to. Finding that mountain pose, standing nice and tall. On your inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway for length. Plant the hands. We'll find our downward facing dog. Notice now maybe the heels come a little bit closer to the earth. You might walk the toes up a little bit. Get a little bit more stretch into the back side of the body now that you're warm. And then gently lower the knees and we'll find a seated pose. So again, either sitting cross-legged or on your heels. But before you get too comfortable, switch the cross of your legs. And we'll start our cool down. So as we did before, we'll bring the right hand alongside, left knee to outer right thigh. Relax the shoulders gently. Turn and twist over towards the right. Notice if you can twist a little bit more. You can even stretch through the eyeballs. See how far you can see over towards the right. And then release and switch. Left hand behind, right hand to left outer thigh. Gently twist. Stretch through the eyeballs. Look left. and then release. Now we'll stretch into the hamstrings. So bring the right leg out, left leg comes in. You might scoot forward a little bit to come onto the sits bones. We'll inhale, reach up, and then exhale. Imagine you're making a rainbow shape over towards the right. So I'm bringing my right hand inside the right knee, right elbow inside the right knee. If that doesn't work, you can always reach for the foot, the ankle. You want to feel a stretch into that left side body right here, similar to what we did in our warm-up, but a little bit deeper maybe, and a little bit into that right hamstring. Flex the toes up just to ensure that you're not externally or internally rotating the foot. Last breath. And then slowly come on up and we'll switch sides. So left leg out, right leg comes in. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reach up. And then gently reach for those left toes with the right hand. Imagine spiraling your chest towards the sky. So if that means you need to come up a little bit rather than facing down, find a level that works for you. Flex the left toes. Press right hip down to feel that stretch even more. And then slowly come on up. Then we'll bring the legs out in front, and I'll just turn here. Might move the little juicy bits out of the way. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, fold. So just like we did before, we'll bend the knees to bring the chest onto the thighs. That's more important than having the legs straight and rounding. So bend into the knees, look at your toes, maybe elbows towards the earth. Again, flexibility in the hamstrings might depend on yesterday's activity, time of day, all kinds of things. But just be gentle as you stretch, relax the shoulders, and breathe. I like to grab the outer edges of the feet because I find that if I grab the big toes, I start to kind of sickle my foot. So keep all 10 toes parallel. And then slowly release, come on up. Now this is the part where if you have a wall near you, we'll utilize that. I'm just going to use my banister here. So I really like this pose just to start to slow everything down even more. It's called legs up the wall. You can also put your legs on a couch, on a chair. I have a gentle bend into my knees. And keep in mind, the closer you are, the more active it will be. The further away you are, the more relaxed. So all we're doing is trying to just slow down the breathing. Let the blood flow down the legs. You can bring one hand to belly, one hand to heart center. Close the eyes and just let yourself be still here for a few rounds of breath. And then slowly start to walk the feet down the wall or whatever you're using and bring the knees into the chest. Now you will want to turn now away from the wall so that you can extend one leg at a time here for Pavanamuktasana, starting with the left leg extending. Hug the right knee in. And if you'd like, you can bring in a little bit of gentle movement side to side, inch or two to each direction. Massaging into the low back. This is also a good pose for digestion. and then switch. So right leg extends, left knee in, switch if your fingers are interlaced, switch the cross of your fingers, and then if you'd like, you can rock a little bit side to side. Keeping the left knee in, bring the right knee to meet it, and again, rock. Maybe circles with the knees, whatever feels good. And then release both feet down. From here, right leg, right ankle comes onto the left knee. You'll flex the right foot. You can push into the right knee, or you can start to bring the left leg up, reaching for that left hamstring, and then pressing the right knee away from you to feel a stretch in the outer hip or piriformis. Try to lengthen the back of the neck down, so tucking the chin slightly. Just taking a few slow, deep breaths here. And then release that left leg down and we'll switch sides. So left ankle now onto the right knee, pushing the left knee away from you, maybe walking the right foot forward, flex that left foot, and then maybe bring the right knee in. Again, lengthening the back of the neck down and pressing that left knee away from you. Keeping shoulders relaxed. Notice if they're creeping up towards the ears. Notice if you're clenching through the jaw, through the brow. On your next exhale, release, and we'll come back to that figure four shape, but we'll switch sides. So right ankle onto the left knee, and then keeping this, bring the package of your legs over towards the left. I like to bring my left hand to the right knee for a little bit of support. Right arm reaches over towards the right, and then maybe gaze over towards the right. Now, if you find a deeper twist works for you, you might have the knees stacked. That's a little bit too much for me in my low back. So find a twist variation that works for your body. Again, notice any areas where you're holding tension. Try to relax as you exhale. Soften as you inhale. And then use your core to come on up, unwind, and then switch the legs. So knees now over towards the right, any variation of your twist. Left arm reaches over towards the left, gaze towards the left. Notice the slowing of your breath, the slowing of the mind. Coming back through center, uncrossing the legs. We'll hug our knees in one last time, maybe rock and roll a little bit side to side, forward and back, whatever you need. And then when you're ready, lengthening the legs, maybe bringing them up against the wall if you liked that variation. I'm sliding a blanket underneath the knees for a little bit of support. You can bring the legs a little bit wider if you would like. And then bring the arms alongside you, taking up space as you can, palms facing up towards the sky. Finding a relaxing Shavasana, letting everything settle and absorbing everything from your practice. you'd like to take an extended Shavasana, feel free to pause the video and stay as long as you would like. But if you're ready to move on, start to wiggle into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, maybe rock the head side to side. And then lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms overhead like a good morning stretch. And then start to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the earth. We'll gently roll on to right or left side, using the hands under the head like a little pillow and pausing on your side for a breath or two. And when you're ready, starting to bring that top arm to the earth and gently pressing into the earth so you can peel yourself up to a seated position just like we started, maybe keeping the eyes closed as you transition. Sitting up nice and tall one last time, closing the eyes, taking a few breaths, taking inventory of yourself after your practice, noticing inside out how you feel. And on your next inhale, bring hands to heart center. And as you exhale, bow with gratitude for this space, this practice, and for each other. When you're ready, lifting the head, opening the eyes. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.